Hi, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Traveller and to another update video. So in this video it's going to be a very quick run through of what the next project is for the upgrade here in the Traveller. So as many of you all know, I restored this Traveller 26 years ago, and at the time I was still in school and I wanted to do it on a budget, so I bought a 1984 Mini City, and the entire engine and running gear at the time, all the switch gear and everything at the time was all from that 84 car. So that meant then I was running with the switch gear with the rocker switches at the center of the dash, and with the lower padded dash rail. So I didn't film this, I already removed it as I want to upgrade that to the more traditional flick switches, which would have been in the Traveller originally, but with a bit of a twist. But anyway, so as you say, I've mocked this up just so you can have a look. So this is what the Traveller would have had after I restored it. It was a padded dash rail. It was a black one, as opposed to this brown one I've just sort of set here as the mock-up, with the rocker switches here in the hole. So my plan was to remove that and to fit the original switch gear, which actually came from the Traveller when I first got it. So that was the idea, to put the keys and flick switches things back here. So the first thing I did was to remove this and get rid of it, and then this was just simply going to bolt into here where it would have originally. However, there's a slight problem. Whenever we were restoring the car and trying to get things done quickly and probably not really thinking too far ahead, we cut the front out here. So as you can see, there is quite a gap where I can get my finger in. So this opening is way too big for the original switch panel to go back in again. This was cut basically to accommodate the new type switches, and we probably weren't as careful with cutting this out as we probably should have. So I had to come up with another option. So I have come up with a great idea, and we'll go into the garage now, because something rather special has arrived in the post, and yeah, it's going to look really, really good to replace this, which will work in that hole. So yeah, let's go into the garage and we'll check it out. Okay, so like I said, something really cool has arrived in the post to overcome the little problem of too large of a hole to take the switch panel in nicely. So I went on to the DSN Classics website. I really love the DSN products. I have quite a few already on the Traveller, as you maybe have seen on the walk around video that I did a couple of years ago. So yeah, I wasn't sure of what to do, and they have switch panels which are available in their anodized alloy, and come in varying forms: early Mark 1, Mark 3, and so on, rocker switches, flick switches, and so on. But I wasn't sure of which would be right. So I contacted Steve, who runs DSN, and he gave me an idea, a few options, and suggested I go with what is known as, I'm referring to my notes here, the LCV switch panel, which is essentially for the pickups and vans, and I believe later on in the early Mark 3s, so cars which didn't have the lower dash rail panel, padded dash rail panel, that they used a slightly larger switch panel. So that's what I ordered. So here's as it arrived. So like all products from DSN, I bought this myself. This is not a promotional video by any means. I paid for this myself, so I just think DSN, their products are second to none, and would highly recommend them. So yeah, this is what they sent me. So in the packet comes with their brochure with some amazing products in there. I mean, I could probably buy everything in this here and put it onto the Mini, or anything that'll fit a Mark 1. Yeah, there's some really class stuff in that there which I would love to use. Maybe we'll add a few things later in the future, but here it is. This is the LCV switch panel. So this will fit directly to the fixing holes on the dash rail, but is deep enough here to actually cover the majority of the hole in the dash, and any slack will be taken up with the vinyl when I do wrap it in black vinyl, which will match the top dash rail. And what Cooper S's would have had was, the black dash rails fitted. So what I went with was one which doesn't have any holes drilled. I'll come to that in a minute. So it has the heater control and the clutch and the choke control holes already pre-drilled, and everything here is left blank, for my own use. I went with the polished version as well, so this is going to match in perfectly with the Garage Foss dash fascia that I have fitted as well. So it's really going to tie everything in really well. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put the key switch in here. I'm leaving the key switch and the steering lock on, which I just prefer it. So this frees up a bit of space here for some extra switches. So this is just going to be a row, probably 4, maybe 5 switch positions here. So we're going to have lights. I've got an interior light. I also have my reversing light, and might have a couple of extra ones, maybe for spotlights or something, that if I ever decide to fit them to the car. So I might have 4 or 5 flex switches added to this as well. So yeah, let's show this fitted into the car, roughly, just mocked up to give you an idea of how it's going to look. And yeah, so we'll be taking it from there. So what I actually didn't mention is that DSN also supply all the fixings to fit this to the car as well. So they've actually come with a lovely little Allen key fixing as well, which I intend to use throughout the whole car, throughout the build, replace with the Allen key fixings. I just think they have a lot better quality, and they actually look really, really smart as well, I think too. So yeah, let's just get these screws out. So yeah, this is how it'll fit. Okay, so like I said, there's the large hole that we have, and this will just fit there lovely and will cover the majority of the holes. There's a little gap just down here on the right hand side, which once this is all covered with black vinyl will all look really, really smart and will take up all of the slack. So oops, drop the screw. So there. So this is giving me an idea. It ties in lovely with the Garage Foss dash, with the center of the steering wheel. I think it looks really well. It matches my accelerator pedal, which is, well, you can't see, and a few things. So there may be some other little items coming in. So yeah, I think this is all going to look really, really smart, especially when this is black. It's really going to really want to pop out of the dash as well. And remember that obviously this is all going to be covered as well with the dash panels being put back in again. Okay, so that's a little ongoing project that I have on here on the Traveller. So it's just upgrading the wiring, getting a few things really, really buttoned up that will be that a little bit nicer. So like I said, I need to be really careful when I'm drilling this. Definitely going to have some new drill bits. I need to be very precise with my measurements and with my drilling, so I don't want to have to go and buy another one of these. It's not an overly expensive item, but it's not a cheap item either. So yeah, it's going to be really lovely in the car when it's all perfectly done with the flick switches all in place. So that's job one. I have a few other projects that I want to do in the Traveller, little upgrades. I need to refit the heater. I have been working on the heater in the background. It's now all fully refurbished and restored, ready to go back in again. It is a later Mark III heater from the same 84 car donor car, so it's a better heater than the old original recirculating type one. So that needs to be plumbed and wired in, so that's ready to go. Next on the list, I have a few little bit of trims which I never did finish. I never did finish carpeting under the bulkhead and on the side of the sills. That needs to be done. I want to redo my boot light. The boot light was done very quickly before the Causeway Coast show, and I want to redo that really, really nicely and possibly give it a bit of a polished look, or do something quite nice with that. I might make one for the other side and have the twin boot lights in there as well, but they will all be operated from the switch panel here once I get that all buttoned up. So that's mostly the interior work. Exterior wise, I don't really have anything to do. I'm going to get some new number plates to the car. I just like the old riveted type number plates. I want to get those. So then it's only mechanical type things. I do want to renew the front suspension. I do know the two front shocks are definitely wearing, and I need to replace those. They've been in the car for 20 years, so they definitely need renewed. So front suspension, I may also do the brakes this year. Brakes are good, but I may upgrade the brakes. I'd love to put a set of 4-pots on there and grooved and drilled discs, but they're more of a want than a need. And that's about it. A few nice little things, maybe some other things will happen over the winter, but yeah, she's off the road now for the winter. I have plenty of time to get things done for the summer, for the 22 season. I did change the wheels. You may have seen that on Instagram, but that'll all be revealed on my 2023 pre-show season walk around of the car, just to show everything where we are for the next year. You'll also have noticed, if you're following Instagram, the stripe has now gone off the bonnet as well, so we're going back to that subtle sleeper look that I originally had. So yeah, that's about it for this very short update video, and yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and keep in touch with all the socials and so on, and yeah, we'll see you on the very next video.